Yeah, I don't know how long we're streaming for, but we'll go for a little bit. I am looking into the whole jaia cruz thing. Shout out to Serena, who raised this to me the other day. I forget which stream. I had a look at it. There were some news articles about it. None of them mentioning the fact this person's trans. They stabbed someone to death in a deli in New York. But yeah, I've been seeing quite a lot of stuff about this. Obviously, more info has come out. This person is in fact trans. Was quite clear to a lot of people. Hence the fact that this person is 6'4" and was being led to a police car, towering over both the officers. You don't see many women like that. Sadly, female violent crimes have been on the rise since we decided that men can be women. So I don't know. It's not really what I'm for myself. But we've got some shit to look at, I guess. We might get onto something else after, but I'm not sure. It depends how long this takes. So yeah, let's first off we have a CBS article, video should we say. Just have a look here. The woman charged. Not mentioning the fact that this is a male. It's very leading. That will make people think a certain thing for sure. The Harlem deli worker says the postal worker who died and the woman charged with his murder were regular customers. CBS News, New York's Christy Kalishian reports. NYC deli worker speaks out after USPS employee stabbed to death. So this might be either the same or very similar to what we already watched as from the 3rd. So quite possibly. But yeah, we're gonna start from here. I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to look at, and let's have a look. Let's not jump to conclusions, etc., etc.
New details surrounding the stabbing death of a U.S. postal worker in a deli. Police have identified the 24-year-old suspect who's charged with second-degree murder. An employee also tells us the two were regular customers who had no history of disputes in the past. Christy
Important, we have a witness statement here.
Kalishian has the story from Harlem.
We're hearing from an employee who tells us exactly how this all unfolded. He says it started right here while the two were waiting in line, fighting over who was first in line. Then that argument spilled over here to where the coffee machine is and got physical. And here's some new video of 24-year-old Jaia Cruz, who police identify as who allegedly stabbed to death 36-year-old Ray Hodges, a U.S. postal worker. And this employee tells us that it seemed as though Hodges was here first, and then Cruz crossed in front of him, and it sparked a whole argument. Here, take a listen to what he said.
I separate them. The male guy in the front, the lady, she was in the back. She's spilling him in his face.
Spat on him.
And male guy, he get mad because she's spilling him. So he was
Suggestion obviously being that was the kind of escalation, was Jaia spitting on this person, according to this this witness testimony. Bear in mind,
juice next to the coffee machine, he throw on her, so she took the knife. This is so bad. This is my first time I see this happen from my face.
And this all unfolded.
I mean, this guy must be absolutely traumatized. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen someone get beaten up before, but like, Jesus Christ.
Yesterday at around 2:30, we also heard from a teacher at a nearby school who says they had to go into lockdown, which is customary for any sort of dangerous situation out here. But of course, it was very scary for her and the nearby community, who was all just shocked over this violent incident that happened right here. And also hearing from the USPS that issued a statement saying that it is looking out for the safety and well-being of its employees, and that it is working diligently with the NYPD as they investigate the situation. In Harlem, Christy Kalishian, CBS News, New York.
Okay, there we go. Jump the queue in the UK and you get a dirty look. Jump the queue in NY and you get stabbed up. Well, it sounded like, according to the news report, I obviously wasn't there, I don't know the truth. But it sounds like the stabber was the one that jumped the queue. I mean, Jesus. But hey, like I said, I wasn't there. So we have Metro exclusive. This is NY Post. First off, I don't like stuff like this. we're kind of telling people how to feel. I really prefer when news outlets just report the news, I'll be honest. A creepy new video exposes the full face of the knife-wielding maniac who viciously stabbed postal worker Ray Hodges to death in a Harlem deli this week. Troubled transgender woman Jaia Cruz is seen up close rolling her eyes and smiling seductively in a 9-second video, while a song blasts the raunchy lyrics, "I'm such a whore, I'm not a hoe," in the background. Okay, looks like standard trans person on TikTok kind of stuff. If you're like a hip-hop fan or something like that, I don't know. It more or less is what the article says. Here we go, like I said, towering over the people. None of it was mentioned initially that this person is trans. I live in a super liberal area. There are tons of differently identifying people. I never have any problems going out. This stuff is definitely highlighted through the media. Well, I mean, it happened. Like, if something like that happens, the media is going to report on it, you know? I'm not sure what you're saying. It's unclear if the ex-user at I'mMeme0, who posted the video Friday, is affiliated with the 24-year-old Cruz, who is now facing murder charges for Hodges' cold-blooded killing Thursday. This has nothing to do with anything. You hate Crocs? You'd come to blows with my partner. My partner loves Crocs. Apparently they're quite comfortable. I couldn't wear them myself. On Saturday, 2 members of Hodges' grieving family declined to speak to the Post, only saying they're not doing well. I mean, geez, what do you expect, you know? 36-year-old USPS worker, father of 2, God, barely older than I am, was grabbing lunch at Joe's Deli Grocery at 168 Lenox Avenue when he and Cruz started arguing while in line, bodega employees previously told the Post. Cruz quickly became enraged, spit in Hodges' face, and gutted him in the stomach. Got another article. I can have a look at this. I'm not in a hurry. Like I said, I don't know how long I can go. I've got stuff to do later, but not what to play. Good. Okay. He was rushed to Harlem Hospital where he died, cops said. Even before the heinous Harlem slaying, Cruz had a rap sheet with 5 arrests, including one in July 2020 for waving an open box cutter at a person in Midtown West, shouting, "I'm going to cut him," according to police services. Might as well open this as well. I don't know how much. Listen, I'm relying on the New York Post. Whatever you think of this news outlet, ultimately this is stuff that happened, you know. When cops ordered the combative Cruz to the ground, she refused and was later busted for resisting arrest. 2 weeks later, she was nabbed again for a tag team robbery at knife point. Okay, we're not showing a huge amount of stuff regarding this, but I've got a couple of other things to look at. Postal worker Ray Hodges was only trying to order his regular bodega when he ran into a crazed mate. Yeah, this is what I mean. Just tell the story. You don't need to tell me what I think of someone who stabbed someone. You know what I mean? But hey, this is a gripe that I have with media all the time. Who spit in his face and stabbed him to death over a spot in line. Witnesses to the slaying told Post Friday. 36-year-old just delivered a package, taking a break during his workday Thursday. Suddenly crossed paths with repeat criminal Jaia Cruz. When they became embroiled in an argument, as Cruz, who had been described by cops as a transgender woman, tried to push her way in front of the mailman. So an employee, he was in the store counting his money to check how much he had to order. She came in after him. She had bags probably from the supermarket. Put her bags by the coffee machine. She came to order. He told her she's trying to order a sandwich. She started arguing with him. I told him it wasn't worth it. So again, witness statement here. Multiple people who were in the store successfully separated the pair, who the workers said were regulars. But Cruz kept trying to go after Hodges, whose loved one said was a great man and doting father of 2. Even the employee put himself in the middle of the pair to end the fight, which escalated when Cruz spat at the victim. I'm not saying that, I'm sorry. What is this language? I was in the middle and he was in front of me. She came from behind me and spit in his face, deli worker recalled. That got him so mad, so he threw a bottle of lemon juice at her. When she took the knife and came to him, and I had to move. I had to wrestle the knife away from Cruz to no avail. Lodged the blade in Hodges' neck and stomach, the worker explained, adding that he and other customers called 911. Postal worker collapsed with the knife by his side, rushed to Harlem Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Cruz fled to her west 118th Street apartment, so didn't stick around, didn't surrender themselves, having stabbed someone to death. Might be interesting, I don't know. Excuse me. Might be relevant, should I say, not interesting. Remember when the news media was professional? I don't know if I do, to be honest. I wish it was more professional. I don't need to be told what to think about someone who stabbed someone. I don't need like the emotive language. I know I complain about that kind of thing a lot. I just think it would be better if we didn't over-egg the pudding. You know what I mean? So do we know if this violent lunatic will go into a woman's prison? No. We're nowhere near that point yet. No. This happened like 5 days ago. So there's no way that we're going to know that yet. He was ordered held without bail on charges of murder and manslaughter at her arraignment. Just minutes before the ruthless slaying, Hodges has been speaking with his customers, including 34-year-old Alejandro Alarcon. Excuse me. He's my mailman. Just yesterday I told him I'm waiting on Under Armour shorts and asked him to check for me because I didn't want to go upstairs to get the key. He opened it for me. Then I went downstairs to get the dog to walk him out, and when I came outside maybe 15 minutes later, his cart was in front of the deli. The yellow tape was there, all the blood was everywhere. Fucking hell. Alarcon recalled the male character is a really nice man who went out of his way to help his customers. Literally over a sandwich, literally over who ordered first. The person couldn't let it go. Listen, things like this happen. Like, people will do this kind of shit over really tiny things. I mean, I don't know. It's unconscionable, but it happens, unfortunately. The violent slaying has put Alarcon and his neighbours on edge, he said. I come to this deli all the time. I buy detergent here, I buy coffee there, I buy bagels here. Now I'm scared to go to this deli or any deli. The mayor needs to get on top of this. I had family members supposed to come visit for Christmas. I told them, do not come visit me because the city is not safe. Yeah, so that's that one. And then we've got one more about the history of violence. Yes, that's clearly what I wanted to do. Okay. But finally, we've got this one. Woman accused of stabbing postal worker over spot in NYC. Deli line has a history of knife violence. The woman accused of stabbing a postal worker to death over a spot in line at Harlem Deli has a history of knife violence, once threatened to cut one of her previous victims. This person is a woman's faculty now. I don't know about that. If you have any stuff, then I guess link it or send it on Discord. The woman accused of stabbing a postal worker to death over a spot in line in Harlem Deli has a history of knife violence, once threatened to cut one of her previous victims. Jaia Cruz was arrested at least 5 times before she allegedly carried out the ruthless killing Thursday, law enforcement sources told the Post. In July 2020, Cruz was caught waving an open box cutter at another person in Midtown West, shouting, "I'm going to cut him," ordered to get to the ground but refused. I mean, does the forehead and the brow, does that not tell you everything you need to know? It's a very male thing there. I don't know, it just kind of sucks. Like, feels like women are like, now women are suddenly getting extremely violent and sexually violent and stuff like that. But if you don't know any better, it's kind of, it must be confusing, no? If you don't know any better as to what they're actually talking about when they call someone like this a woman. I'm just saying. Cruz was ordered to get on the ground but refused, pulled away by officers and busted for his arrest. Arrested again for a tag team robbery, used knives to steal a man's phone and wallet after the victim invited the pair to hang out. Jesus. Repeat offender, who has been described by the cops as a transgender woman, now faces murder charges for the brutal knifing of Ray Hodges, an on-duty USPS letter carrier who was grabbing lunch at the deli at 168 Lenox Avenue. Okay, there's very little info on the additional charges. Statistics are getting screwed now. Yeah, it kind of seems that way. But yeah, that's the New York Post. We have an extremely trustworthy source here known as reddit.com/MTF. So so we've got MTF, r/MTF. Please hold off on judgment. For those who don't know, Jaia Cruz is a 24-year-old trans woman who fatally stabbed Ray Hodges, a 36-year-old postal worker. This was an avoidable tragedy, and everyone is sad that this man lost his life. However, the media is intentionally omitting crucial information because their goal is to feed into transphobia and to portray Jaia Cruz as a violent and deranged trans individual who goes around stabbing people over frivolous disagreements. First off, I really don't think that's what I saw. Maybe some other sources are over-egging the pudding even more on this, but that is not what I saw from what I've looked so far. This is conspiracy theories. There is literally no reason to say this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? There's no reason to start pushing transphobia, conspiracy theories over something like this. Just don't. There's no need to. Don't do it. And like I said, I didn't see anything saying that that's how they were portraying them. Like, they had previous, sure. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Not mention that? I'm not sure. Violence is not the answer, but when you corner someone and you threaten to kill them and you yell transphobic slurs, acting in self-defense is justified. Now, I've not seen any evidence for this. Like, we're going to keep looking, but I've seen no evidence for this so far. I tried to avoid all confrontations at all costs, but sometimes I've had to use physical force to thwart an attack, especially at the beginning of my transition when I didn't pass so well. I had no other choice and I refused to be in other statistics. Again, well, what do we know about this? Literally nothing, because we're getting someone's word for it, you know what I mean? How are we doing? Okay. There is more to this story, much more. For starters, Jaia Cruz is a 6'4" tall trans woman. She stands out. Is it really that hard to imagine that a lot of people are going to be shitty to her? Is it hard to imagine, like, maybe, does that mean she should stab someone? Does that mean she should get involved in the kind of crime that we've been led to believe she's been part of? I mean, unless you've got evidence of the contrary, you know what I mean? She has been jumped and beaten several times. This is why she started carrying a knife. By the way, carrying a knife, as far as I know, I don't know how true this is. I've read before that you're more likely to get a knife used on you if you carry a knife than use it on anyone. In this particular case, the fight wasn't over a stupid sandwich. Of course, they're not going to tell the truth. Again, we need evidence for this. The dispute might have started over a spot in line, but the victim threw a lemonade at her and yelled transphobic slurs. I guess victim blaming is fine when it's cis people, I don't know. Or when it's black people, maybe this person is racist, who fucking knows. And also, transphobic slurs, no one's mentioned this. Again, I'll take evidence. When he started beating her, she feared for her life and she had no other choice other than using a knife. When you're being physically attacked, you need to fight for your life and you don't have time to determine whether you're using excessive force or not. This does really not line up very well. This really does not line up very well with what the witnesses have been saying. I'm shocked that everyone here on Reddit, including other trans women, is blindly believing whatever the media is feeding them. Is it blindly believing? I mean, there's a heck of a lot of evidence. I mean, we watched something. We heard the voice of a worker who saw what happened. Are we saying he's lying now? Like, Jesus Christ. You're traumatized for life, and then you've got a load of trannies saying that you're lying. How nice. How very nice. God bless Reddit, you know. Whenever a trans woman is murdered, cis people blame her. Oh, so it's okay to do the same now that it's the other way round? So if one bad thing happens one way, which we've not been shown any evidence for, again, that makes it okay for you to do it the same way back. That makes you a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Whenever a trans woman is murdered, Whenever a trans woman is murdered, cis people blame her and say she must have tricked an innocent straight guy and that killing her was justified. Again, I didn't see that. Maybe there's other outlets saying this. They could quite easily have linked any of them, though. This is a lie because trans women are murdered by men who knew, but then who used the panic defense as an easy way out. What has this got to do with this situation? We want the video of the incident released to the public, but it will show things didn't go as transphobes want us to believe, so it won't happen. So they don't know either. This person has no idea. They have no idea what happened. Like, let's see some evidence. Oh, wait. Shit. Even parts of the statements made by the deli worker were eliminated. Okay, such as. There's an Instagram post. Contains a video of Jaia being attacked previous to this incident. I don't know if I can show that on stream, but I have the post. So here we go. On Thursday, January 2nd, okay, I've been saying January 3rd, it was January 2nd. In Harlem, a young trans lady, Jaia Cruz, was attacked at a deli and had to defend herself to stay alive. I'll take a source on that once again. I'll take any evidence whatsoever. Jaia Cruz had been targeted and assaulted on different occasions. The fight was unprovoked, and during the altercation, Jaia's attacker was stabbed and subsequently died. Was stabbed. We won't even word it in a way that makes it clear that she was the one that stabbed him. Our sibling Jaia, age 24, our sibling, Jesus Christ. Not that we're biased, not that we're saying this because we're trans or because of something else. Now faces a second-degree murder charge. Well, we face ongoing discrimination just for breathing and existing. No, you don't. You really don't. It's got nothing to do with breathing and or existing, trust me. What Jaia endured is painful. What Jaia endured. She is not evil and she is not alone. We must protect and defend her. A woman was burned to death on a train, nothing to do with this, and people walked away. Jaia could be any one of us. We are verbally and physically assaulted and no one helps. Right, I need to, the next one is the video. I need to change this because I really don't think that I can show this. So we start off, there's someone on the ground. There's someone else. What looks like, I'm imagining Jaia Cruz in the middle of the street with a shorter guy hitting him with something. He's hitting her back. What was it we were saying? Jaia being attacked previous to this incident. This video starts in the middle of a fight. She moves away towards the side of the street. Another guy starts swinging on her. Gets pulled down to the ground as being hit. It says being attacked, like she's down on the ground. Like, you know, what's going on here? Like, if these guys that are hitting her, should I say, aren't getting based post, I can't be fucked with you. Just go away. Just go away. I've blocked you. There you go. Don't come back here. You're disgusting. What was I trying to say? In this video that I'm looking at, the guys that are hitting her, like, if they don't get, like, assault for that, then that's kind of fucked, honestly. It's way too much. But the thing is, what we're saying here contains a video of Jaia being attacked previous to this incident. It starts in the middle of the altercation. You don't actually know who started it. You don't actually know what the cause of that fight was. So yeah, that's that video. Pretty messed up incident, I'm going to be honest. Doesn't matter if I'm seeing a trans woman or a cis woman or a man or whatever getting attacked in the street. But the problem is, this video is not evidence because it starts midway through. Anyway, what else we got? Jaia's life were taken at that deli, there would be silence. Do we know that? We have no idea. We're pushing a victim narrative based on what? The media had created a narrative that she killed a man over a deli sandwich. That is false and misleading. Let's see some evidence then. Listen, if this is wrong, if that guy was attacking her first and was killed in self-defense, then that's a completely different story. That's a completely different situation. But what we need is evidence. We can't just say things. We can't just say, this is what happened. You have to provide evidence. And we've got eyewitness testimony saying very much not what's going on here. That's all I want is evidence. Otherwise, I'm supposed to believe what my eyes and ears show me. You know what I mean? We wanted to share update from the legal counsel for Ms. Cruz. I have messed up. I hate Instagram. We encourage her family, friends and community to wait for Supreme Court arraignment for additional directives. We are awaiting video footage to be released in her indictment. We send condolences to all who are impacted. So we're very much, we've not given more evidence and we seem to be backing off a little bit. Like, to wait for Supreme Court. Now we want to wait. We've made up a whole bunch of stuff that we've not substantiated. And now we want to wait. So we have pack the court for Jaia. We know the police can seldom be trusted, and so far they are who's led the investigation. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there someone else that leads investigations into murders other than the police? What are you fucking talking about? And so far they are the ones who's led the investigation. We ask that New Yorkers keep that in mind, that you shouldn't trust the police. Mariah Lopez-Ebony, Executive Director for STAR, Strategic Trans Alliance for Radical Reform. We'll look at that in a sec. We ask that New Yorkers keep that in mind and they join us in asking for a process that is fair and transparent. Well, the process is all ahead of us. What's the point in protesting this when nothing's happened yet? When we need to see the facts, when there's not been a fucking trial yet? Why are we trying to get ahead of this? Any act of violence impacts both or all parties and can tear apart communities. All I want is for Ms. Cruz to get a fair shot at justice. Some situations are tragic all round, and this is one of them. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Shauna Brooks, actress, activist, and a director of community engagement at STAR. Again, we'll be looking into them anyway. We demand truth and justice. The truth is that there is an epidemic of violence against women, not just trans women who aren't women, in the city and across the country. Don't know why we're doing this, but okay. Far too many women and girls have been Jaia at some point. What, stab someone because of a queue for a sandwich? I don't understand. And we believe justice or the road to it isn't black and white. Sometimes it feels good to blame one side before all the facts are out. That isn't justice. I know my child isn't naturally violent. I feel bad for that young man's family and community, but Jaia didn't set out to hurt anyone that day when she walked into that deli. Right, because that makes any difference. Plenty of people, I mean, isn't that what second-degree murder is? You don't set out to kill someone. It happens by your hand, but you didn't plan it. Nyala Love, Jaia Cruz, chosen mother. You should have been a better mother, quite frankly, because your chosen daughter has murdered someone. Amazing, amazing, great job. There's a little bit more at the bottom, which is from the Facebook post. It's fine, I'll just read it. This is a silent, orderly, and peaceful demonstration in support of Jaia Cruz. Supporters are encouraged to find a seat and quietly observe the proceedings set for 9 a.m. Leave the egos and the drama at home. Pack the courtroom, no matter if it's 2 seconds, 1 second, or 12. We are in there. When? Jan 8th, 9 a.m. sharp. So I guess that's coming up, if not about now even. 100 Center Street, Part F. Give me 1 sec. New York, a growing number of supporters of Jaia Cruz, who has been accused of stabbing a postal worker to death in Harlem, on January 2nd are organizing the Pack the Court style silent demonstration. Demonstration for what? Okay, I don't care about the commies. Huff paint in your own time. We're organising a packed-style court silent demonstration as they gather inside of the 100 Centre Street on January 8th at 9 a.m, where Miss Cruz is said to be in court next. Miss Cruz is a member of the LGBT community and attended the Hetrick Martin Institute, the alternative high school an alternative high school for LGBT youth located in Manhattan. Supporters of Miss Cruz's who is 27. I'm actually losing my mind. Give me a sec. Supporters of Miss Cruz's, who is 24 years old, have been critical of those rushing to condemn. Community activist Maria Lopez, ED of STARR, believes that most will agree with her. The NYPD can't be trusted to get the facts straight. Most will agree with you. No. This kind of shit is not a widespread belief. This like ACAB type shit is not widespread. Most people think this shit is dumb. Most people want the police's help when it comes down to it. And the NYPD is who you are relying on, whether you like it or not, because that's the police's job. Ms. Lopez is relying on the legal and due process afforded to Miss Cruz, to get the truth of what happened that day. I don't trust the NYPD, especially not to skew facts against a trans person or anyone if it suits their narrative of events, but I trust New York courts. So why do you not trust the police but you trust the courts? Isn't there like stuff with courts like giving like black people like way worse sentences than white people according to your very kinds of people? This doesn't make any sense. You're just picking and choosing what you care about to try and make people think a certain way about this, when ultimately all that we can do really is wait for the truth. We have a certain amount of info already, but you know, I don't trust the NYPD, especially not skew the facts against a trans person, or anyone if it suits their narrative of events. But I trust the New York courts and juries for the most part. Well, it's got nothing to do with you. It doesn't fucking matter who you trust. You've got those people, and they're the ones that are going to deal with it. And to be honest, I don't trust this person that wrote this. In the meantime, the community will continue to show up for Miss Cruz. How nice. How nice. Courts are the same sending rapists to female prisons. Oh, yeah. Jesus. And then this case has received national attention, with the public and media rushing to demonize Miss Cruz and convict her in the court of public opinion. Is that true? Is that true? It's been reported, should I say, the way that murders are typically reported. I guess the people of Star think it's okay to stab postal workers. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what they think. Is it postal workers? Is it black people? Is it cis people? Is it men? Is it what? Or is it, it's okay when a trans person does it, or we're going to assume if it's a trans person there must be more to the story, even though at almost no other point would we, you know what I mean? The case has received national attention. Oh yeah, we saw that. Ms. Cruz supporters, which includes a biological family and a growing number of LGBT youth and young adults and activists who are sharing similar accounts of violence and feeling victimized because they are queer, or post online won the weekend. I'm not sure what that's supposed to say. Similar accounts of violence, feeling victimized, as if the person that was attacked, as if the person was killed, was victimizing her. We don't know any of this. This is gross. Any act of violence impacts both or all parties. Yeah, you probably can't. Oh my God. Am I going to mute every single fucking person in my chat today? Jesus Christ, let me fucking read the thing. Can I read the thing? I read the thing out loud. I can put it on the internet and people can listen to me say it. Holy shit, I'm going to actually fucking explode. Jesus Christ, how is this for male violence? You really think trans people are not capable of way more than what I'm doing right now? Holy shit. Please give me a break. I beg of you, all of you. Oh my God. Anyway. Any act of violence impacts both or all parties and can tear apart communities. All I want is for Ms. Cruz to get a fair shot at justice. Some situations are tragic all around, and this is one of them. Anyway, Jesus fucking Christ. Any act of violence impacts, I read this already. I'm trying to read it out loud, man. There's Shauna Brooks, actress, activist, and the director of community engagement with Star. I know my child isn't naturally violent. I feel for that young man's family and community, but Jaia didn't set out to hurt anyone that day when she walked into the deli. So we saw that bit already. Okay, great, amazing. I finally got through it. Jesus. We've got STARR. Established by Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. Well, Jesus Christ, hopefully you're not turning in your graves right now. So we've got packing the court again. This is for a victim, much less objectionable in my opinion. "55 years of pride. Stonewall, etc., etc. Free Palestine, because of course, what's that got to do with trans radical reform? Free Palestine? I have no idea. Creating a safe, more equitable society for transgender non-conforming individuals. What, by sowing distrust in the police? That's not how you make a safer society. I've watched enough body cams. I can see and I can tell when someone has had that kind of shit fed to them, this kind of ACAB shit, this kind of distrust in the police kind of stuff. And it's ultimately, it causes more danger, you know what I mean? It causes people to end up getting into bad situations. I'm just trying to see if we've got anything more about Jaia Cruz. We were always here, I tell you what. Isn't it? It's not about getting me upset, just try and understand what I'm saying and try and understand the position I am in. You know what I mean? Okay, wow. It's the YouTube channel we've got. There's a whole 2 videos. I don't think they put anything up about Jaia. Like, what I found was on, like, Facebook pages, but I'm definitely not going on fucking Facebook on my stream. That's not gonna happen. This Mariah Lopez Ebony, one of the people sticking up for a murderer. How nice. Like, I don't know, if a trans person murders someone, the absolute last thing I want to hear is like, well, stuff's dangerous for trans people. That just sounds completely wrong. And like, what a middle finger to the guy's family as well. To those that knew him and stuff. Gallery. Okay, this is all old stuff. Hey, remember when we were cool? Remember when this was, you know, remember when we had actual rights issues to go after? Yeah, so there we go. Radical reform extends Sylvia and Marsha's legacy by building lasting and productive bonds. Like, mad. And what we're doing for this is sticking up for a murderer. Amazing.